Hello and welcome to ReginaldESQ. I'm Underhook and this is my review update of the MT-25. I did review this tank a while back and it's had a buff since then, and also they've changed scout. This is a tier 6 Russian scout tank and they've changed matchmaking now. So it used to see tier 10s, now it only sees up to tier 9, which is still a bit of a challenge for a tier 6 tank. When I reviewed this tank I said I didn't like it very much, and well, it's a very fast tank at 72 kilometers an hour, but why I didn't like it was it had the lowest hit points of any tier 6 light tank at 570 hit points. It had a terrible view range, the worst view range of any tier 6 light tank at 370 meters. And it had the second worst camouflage, only the VK, the German, was worse. And it had a terrible gun with 112 pen and only 85 damage per shot at tier 6. Is disgusting, really. And has gun depression of only 5 degrees as well. So there's a lot of things this tank does not have going for it. And when it was, against tiers 8, 9 and 10, even heavy tanks have much better view range, and you just find even with binoculars in a bush, hiding, stationary, heavy tanks spot you before you even see them, and they one-shot kill you at that tier. It's just ridiculous. I think anyway. Now that said, I'm not a good scout tank driver, and there are people who reckon this tank is really, really good. I'm guessing they probably use gold ammunition all the time, because tier 8 and above I find almost impossible to penetrate anyone. Even bounces off artillery. Anyway. So yeah, tier 7. This is a tier 7 game, and it will penetrate some tier 7s without a problem. Especially if you can get the rear of some heavies, it'll penetrate. We've got a Nashorn here now. That one missed. Lower plate bounced. That one went in. So you can hit him, but it's not great. Good rate of fire though, as you can see. You can definitely get quite a few shots off. I managed to get that E-25. E-25 can be a difficult tank to pen, but because he was higher than us, it actually assisted us there. Yeah, so they've buffed the tank. So when you consider all the things that are wrong with it, what have they buffed? Well, they've improved its acceleration, and they've improved the suspension, so it turns a little better. They've hardened up the suspension on solid terrain by 14%, on medium terrain by 12%, and on soft terrain by 6%. And they've increased the horsepower from 600 to 700, and that's the buff they've given. So the one thing it had going for it was its speed, and they've made that a little bit better. All the things that are wrong with it, they haven't touched. So it's essentially the same tank, it just drives a little better, and it always drove pretty well in my opinion anyway. So you can see we're able to penetrate the side of the turret and the rear of this ISRI, and we got quite a bit of damage done on it. So, but this is one of the better games I had. The only reason I drove this tank again was they've now introduced a bunch of the new tanks, and the LTTB. I thought, yeah, I might grind that up, I might get it. So this one, I had to even though I ground everything with this tank, you get a new tank comes out and you have to grind again, and now I have to grind this so I can get the LTTB. So I finished doing that now. I had about 3 good games, all the rest were crap. This is one of the reasonable games I had. So there, I shoot, move, so hopefully it doesn't hit me. The armor on this tank is actually not bad against tier 5 and tier 6 tanks. You very, very rarely ever get a tier 6 game in this though. Usually you get tier 8 and 9 games, occasionally a tier 7 game. I don't think, to grind the LTDB, I don't think I had a tier 6 game. Pretty rare in this. So yeah, and it's 5 degrees gun depression. Yeah, watch this for a slide park. How's that? Beautiful. Nice power slide. But it's stunt driving. Yeah, it's not a good tank. Don't like it. But I'm sure in the hands of a really good tanker, it could be used quite well. But just, yeah, I didn't get much out of it. Yeah, well, let's have a look at the stats anyway. And the other thing I think I told you, 85 damage. The next lowest damage after 85 damage per shot in a tier 6 light tank at the time I did the original review was 110. And a lot of them are more than that, especially the new ones. Some of them are killers, which makes this tank even more redundant than it was before. So yeah, maybe I'll keep this tank, as maybe, especially compared to the new lights they've just introduced, this tank is so bad that yeah, maybe they'll say, look, this tank is so bad we're going to take it out of the game and replace it with something else, or we're going to buff it again or do something. Maybe they'll do something like that, or move it to tier 5 or something. So yeah, I mean, at tier 5 it would still be not very good. That's how bad it is, in my opinion. Anyway, we got a class 2 badge in this game. We hit a few tanks. Actually wasn't a bad game. We actually finished on top 4 XP in that game. So, a rare good game. 1191 damage we did as well. So yeah, we fired 20 shots, 15 hits and 14 pens. Damage was 1191, and yeah, there you go. We spotted 2 tanks, damaging 6 and destroying 3 of them. And as you see, we got 0 assistance damage. Even in a tier 7 game, our view range is so poor, we were unable to spot anything that anyone was shooting. Yeah. Profitable tank though, 24,000 income, ammunition is cheap, so it is profitable as far as expenses aren't high, but it's so hard to earn XP and coin in because it's so hard to have good games in. Frustrating tank to drive, in my opinion. I hope you enjoyed the review. As depressing as it was, I apologise. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and if you'd like to see more reviews and gameplay, please subscribe to ReginaldESQ. Have fun.